Coming up on this Tuesday edition of the San Francisco 49ers Report, should the Niners trade for Cardinals safety Budda Baker? We're going to talk about that idea, and also, according to Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers are not close to a deal. But I'm going to tell you why you should not panic. First, are you subscribed to the channel? If you are, you're a real one, and type real one down in the comment section. If you're not, what are you doing here? Here on the show, we give you daily content on the Niners. We've had the best NFL free agency coverage. We've done the same with the NFL draft, and we're going to continue to do that. During the season, we do watch parties. We do live shows year-round, and we involve and we value you, the watcher, the viewer, the subscriber, the member of the faithful. So make sure you lock us in. Hit that sub button. We're closing in on 132,000 subscribers. And with that, let's start the show. I'm Chase Sr. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports, and today's show is sponsored by Roan. I am wearing their commuter polo right now. If you're looking to add to your wardrobe with swagger, which will in turn make you more confident, you'll look good, feel good, Roan is your answer. And we have a phenomenal deal for all of you watching right now. 20% off at roan.com/chatsports. Be sure to plug in the promo code chatsports as well so that deal applies. I love Roan for so many reasons. Most importantly, it's high quality men's gear. I look good in all of their apparel. At least I like to think so. Others tell me the same. If you disagree, let me know, but I'm going to fire back at you. But in all seriousness, high quality men's clothing, breathable and stretchable fabric. I'm all about this nowadays. I'm tired of wearing those cheap cotton shirts because they break down. They're not all that comfortable. They also don't look as good. But Roan is able to check all of the boxes that you want as part of your wardrobe. No need to go to the dry cleaner because of their wrinkle release technology. And there's anti-odor technology as well. I also like the bevy of products that they have. This is the commuter polo. You've seen me wear the commuter shirt. But in addition to that, other dress shirts, other polos, pants, and shorts, also very comfortable. More that you wear the products, the wrinkles release, which is great, so you can save money on the back end by not having to go to the dry cleaner. And you can save money, too, with 20% off, roan.com/chatsports. You're also not going to have to get and recycle your wardrobe because these things last forever. We're going to put this link down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. We appreciate Roan for making the 49ers Report today possible. A Budda Baker trade. This is very juicy, and it's something that I want to talk about at length here because we like to have thought-provoking conversations here on the show. The Niners listed by CBS Sports as a potential suitor for the Cardinals' defensive maven. This isn't the first time that Budda Baker has been involved in trade rumors, trade buzz, trade discussions, because last year, during the offseason, he requested a trade out of the desert. His trade request was not fulfilled, but the financial component of what he was asking for was fulfilled to a certain degree because the Cardinals did up his pay a little bit, and Arizona, from their standpoint, they're a rebuilding team. Interested to see what they do in the draft. I think it could be Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State, but still a lot of holes on that roster. Budda Baker, final year of his deal. So Arizona could still look to trade him with that rebuilding roster to assemble some picks, maybe a young player thrown into that deal. And his versatility, Budda Baker's physicality, I think it would fit well on this Niners roster, but as far as the fit goes, and with some of the players on this team, does that clash? We'll talk about that here in a second. But it's no secret that the Niners have checked in on safeties throughout this offseason. Kyle Shanahan even said it from the NFL owners' meetings. There's been multiple reports about the Niners looking into safety help, anywhere from Justin Simmons to bringing in Julian Blackmon on a visit to showing some interest in Rayshon Jenkins, interest in bringing back a Deshaun Gibson. The Niners want and have looked into strong safeties. That's the position that Budda Baker plays. And also, Talanoa Hufanga is coming off a torn ACL. As for the contract details for Budda Baker, final year of that contract, as I mentioned, a base salary of $14.2 million. So he doesn't come cheap, but short-term is what you're paying him. Nothing long-term as of right now. So it's a short-term financial commitment here. A cap hit of $19 million if Arizona were not to eat any of that salary. And Baker, still a younger player, coming off an injury-plagued season in 2023, but he's going to be 28 years old next January. So still a young player who's in the midst of his prime, and he's played some really, really good football. In 2023, he didn't play all that much, so it was difficult to gauge, especially with the new coach, new scheme, how he performed. But in 2022, his last pretty much full season, overall Pro Football Focus grade of 73.7, run defense grade of 80.2, a solid coverage grade of 69.1. And when I talk about defensive versatility, that is what Budda Baker brings to the field. 41 snaps along the defensive line in 2022, 349 snaps in the box, 413 snaps at free safety, 148 snaps in the slot, 18 snaps at corner. Now, we can stay on this graphic here, Producer Chip, because a couple of things that I want to point out as far as him being versatile, but maybe clashing with Jair Brown, Talanoa Hufanga. Hufanga and Brown could play around the line of scrimmage with their snaps in the box, and Jair Brown could play a little bit in the slot. Talanoa Hufanga, on the other hand, a little bit too slow for the slot. So the 148 snaps for Budda Baker is something that Talanoa Hufanga would not be able to do. 18 snaps at corner is something that Talanoa Hufanga would struggle with. But Hufanga, Jair Brown, they can play along the defensive line. They can play in the box. Jair Brown a little bit in the slot. So it's certainly interesting there. You almost look at all those players as just weapons. And just like the NBA has become positionless, some of your safeties might be positionless if you go this route. But what separates Budda Baker from Talanoa Hufanga is just playing a little bit better as a strong safety. And you already do have versatile options in Jair Brown, Talanoa Hufanga. And as far as the contracts go, Budda Baker, final year of his deal. Talanoa Hufanga, final year of his deal, and Budda Baker a lot more expensive because Hufanga was a fifth-round pick. He's still on that rookie deal. Other potential suitors here for Baker's services per CBS could be a team like the Buffalo Bills, although they let go of a lot of defensive players because Josh Allen's contract is set to come into play. Indianapolis Colts do have some money, and they could use some overall roster upgrades, especially some defensive upgrades. And then the San Francisco 49ers here. Here's what CBS had to say about Budda. Great name, by the way. Baker briefly sought a trade last offseason before getting a slight raise from Arizona. The Cardinals can certainly afford his pricey deal with so much cap space, but they also have a younger Jalen Thompson on the back end of Jonathan Gannon's defense. If they can get a solid pick in return, they might prefer another younger investment on a seemingly ascending unit. Baker's versatility and physical punch, meanwhile, could be appealing to teams more suited to contend. With that, this is today's poll question and our pinned comment, so make sure you go on down and let us know what you're feeling about this. Of note there, Niners have a lot of these draft picks at their disposal that they could use in a deal like this. Should the Niners trade for Budda? I for in, O for out. Are you in? Are you out? Let me know. According to Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, Brandon Aiyuk, San Francisco 49ers, not close on a contract extension. But I'm here to tell you there is no reason to panic. You have to follow the history of this organization. They have taken care of and they have paid their homegrown players who they have drafted, developed, and groomed. And there's been a timeline for when they do that. Literally in the last 4 off seasons, San Francisco has had to face the same situation that they are facing right now with Brandon Aiyuk. Young player, looking for a new deal and a contract extension, working on that rookie contract. George Kittle, highest paid tight end in the NFL and in NFL history at the time, when he signed that contract extension August 13th of 2020. Fred Warner was made the highest paid off-ball linebacker at the time in the NFL. That contract was made official on July 21st, 2021. Deebo Samuel, top 10 wide receiver money. That contract signed on July 31st of 2022. And then last offseason, Nick Bosa. This one lasted a lot longer, and it caused a lot of people to panic. It caused a lot of drama and controversy. That contract was not signed, in which Bosa got a deal which pays him $34 million per year, highest paid non-quarterback ever. And that contract was signed on September 6th, 2023. So there is a time for when the Niners take care of their homegrown players. Same could be said for Brandon Aiyuk, hopefully in the coming months. Here's what Mike Garafolo had to say. Where are we? Well, we're not close. And they have made a recent run at it, from my understanding. It's not like they haven't had any discussions. They have had preliminary discussions. You saw John Lynch say Brandon Aiyuk could play in the fifth-year option and play out his deal. They're comfortable with that. Then you've got Aiyuk doing the little finger thing saying, hey, I could walk. So basically it's a little bit of a standoff right now. Now look, this is not where the Deebo Samuel thing was. And as bad as that got with Samuel basically requesting a trade, they were still able to salvage that. So let's not panic here. Let's not freak out. And maybe if it gets to the point where there's some offseason workouts and OTAs and Brandon Aiyuk does a little finger emoji saying, yeah, I'm going to be walking the other way instead of going to those voluntary workouts, then there could be some time to panic. The timeline is always important here. Remember how the San Francisco 49ers do business. Remember how contentious at times the George Kittle contract negotiations were, Deebo Samuel contract negotiations were. This Brandon Aiyuk thing, at least as of right now, is nowhere close to that. He went on the Shannon Sharp Chad Ocho Cinco show, and he said, look, we got professionals on both sides. Hopefully we get a deal done that is good for me and good for the Niners. If not, and I feel as though I deserve to get paid the number that I want and I'm seeking, then I can walk. That's the finger thing that Mike Garafolo was talking about. But there is so much time to get this figured out. You also have to see how the NFL draft shakes out. This wide receiver class is loaded. The Niners have shown interest in wide receivers in this receiver class. They could elect to go that route. Draft a wide receiver who can be a part of this offense, and then after next year, yeah, you're into a situation where if Aiyuk doesn't sign that deal and he's playing on that fifth and final year of that fifth-year option, you let him walk, then that rookie wide receiver steps in. You could look to move off of Deebo Samuel. You could have Juwan Jennings coming off the books. And it's plausible that Aiyuk plays that fifth and final year, but with no financial security beyond 2024, it's a massive risk for him. And it's a massive risk for all the players that we just showed you on the screen who were looking for contract extensions, all players in general. You might have that $14 million coming your way in 2024. It's a lot of money to a lot of people. But from a professional athlete standpoint, they want that long-term financial stability to know that in a game, in a league that also stands in addition to National Football League for not for long, that if anything were to happen, they at least have a little bit of financial control there. But to panic at this point, right now, on April 2nd of 2024, that's the equivalent of you working for a company, right? And that business always pays its employees a holiday bonus on December 20th. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday that you celebrate, that is the time, every single year, that company pays you a holiday bonus. The track record is out. That's how they do business. But then Thanksgiving comes around, or you're about to embark on that quarter in August or September, and you're like, man, I'm really worried about this holiday bonus. I'm not sure it's going to come. And then you confront your bosses, and they're like, look, we always do business, and we always give out that holiday bonus around December 20th. For San Francisco, it's always later in the summer, right before training camp, right when training camp starts, or during training camp, or in Bosa's case, which was extremely unique because of the money at play, that happened right before the start of the regular season. I'm not panicking yet. Will the Niners pay Aiyuk? Y for yes, N for no. What do you think? Sound off with what your opinions are down in the comments section. As always, thanks for watching the show, and don't forget to subscribe.